Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. And this is our podcast. And I have an amazing host with me today. I have Megan from South Africa. I have Maria from the UK. And I have Jackie from Arizona, but she's global. Her heart is in Africa, many countries. She runs the Gen Network, which is Global Impact Network. And we have the privilege and honor of having our guest Luann you're from Canada, is that correct?
I am. I'm from
Ah,
Calgary, Alberta.
okay, wonderful. And so she is going to come and she's going to share her story and inspire all of us and all of you. Luann, come join us.
Oh, well, thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here and to speak with you this morning. I'm so impressed at the range and capacity of your work and the depth of it. And so to come back to, I guess, how I got started in mindset was as we typically do, it starts with ourselves. So, and one of the things I work with is just helping people uncover their own invisible beliefs, again, because of my own experience. So it started actually, as it typically does in our early years. I was raised on the farm. And I really was taught incredible hard work ethic
Oh,
that, even before I went to school, I was doing things, I was making lunch for all of our hired men. Like I could do a lot of things, which meant that that was my mindset, was hard work was the way. And that worked well for me in many ways in my early years. It helped me in school. It helped me outside of school. And then as I got more into my adult world, it helped me create like felt like a really ideal life, a good career, a happy home life type of thing, and, a comfortable life. And then there was a point where I realized, my life is comfortable and yet it's also a little bit empty. And so it led me to explore, but I really didn't have to explore very long because all of a sudden a lot of things changed. My career, I was given a package in my career. I became a single mom, and it was like all at the same time. And it was just, oh my goodness, like how do I do this? How do I do this, so much of this on my own? And so resorting back to the hard work approach um, led me to be quite, I could say, exhausted and a little bit like the treadmill. It's a lot of work for as not as much progress as I really wanted. And I thought, I'm putting this effort out, which seems like this should be what I should be doing to kind of get my feet on the ground. But if I go at this pace, this is going to be a long time. And I started to wonder, like, what is going wrong? What am I doing wrong? Which led me into the probe of like my mindset, which started first of all with coaching. And then I realized I really had a one track. I had a one track, and that was that was if the harder you work, the more results you get, which is not really accurate. And so I had to come to terms with that in really in all parts of my life, my relationships, my profession, as well, even with my relationship with my daughter. I mean, it was really shining in my face, which then led me to think, well, this is, I'm on the wrong train. And how do I do a whole change of trains here? It just was really overwhelming. So then I started looking at mindset, like how in the world did I get here? Because how I got here must have hopefully has something to do with how I move beyond. And it led me into really understanding the how what I felt and learned earlier in life was very helpful then, but it was definitely not working going forward. So I dive deep into mindset, working with the subconscious mind, several modalities, and and that was actually where the light started coming on. But it wasn't a pretty picture actually when the light started coming on. It was kind of messy because I was realizing how much I was really literally stepping on my own foot, but not just my own. I was stepping on the feet of people around me. Began to make sense as to why it was so not working. And so basically, I really just dived deep into it and discovered a lot of things about how I was, in the one track mindset, how I had this belief I had to do it alone. I had to,
Mhm.
and it had to be perfect. I mean, those standards. It's also the ruminating, like if it doesn't work out, just like go for it, go for it, go for it until you're mentally exhausted and physically exhausted.
Mhm.
And so this was really, really insightful. And I guess one of the things that was very pivotal for me was when I started going into more of the subconscious mind uh, modalities. I actually did not realize how stressed I was until I wasn't that stressed.
Oh.
And it really was an eye-opening moment. Again, not a very pleasant one, but I was carrying this for so long and really believing that this was the way to go. So I must say, it leads me to being really inspired to help people understand what I call those invisible beliefs
Mhm.
and helping them become what is invisible, but it feels real because it is real and because it is a real strategy for us. And so it makes it even harder to get out of those stuck spots because it feels like we have our foot on the gas, so to speak, but we actually have it on the gas and the brake at the same time without really knowing that. So that truly inspires me. And I guess it leads me to continue to dig until I find what what I find is just I would say the most effective ways of getting to the root of helping to understand like what really is driving that,
Mhm.
which is pretty interesting. But
Mhm.
like I said, it's not always that pleasant. It wasn't that pleasant for me. It's pleasant afterwards. Definitely not pleasant in the process.
Oh
It's
yeah.
kind of like what Brene Brown says. She says the magic is in the messy middle. Yes, it was in the messy middle,
Yeah.
but it was magic.
No. There was a lot of tears when I was writing my book. I know. Oh boy.
Yeah, just
Oh.
thinking I've been actually doing this for a long time, and I've realized when I realized the cost to myself, but when I realized the cost to the people around me,
Mhm.
it was just it still is when I think about it. It's just like, oh, thank
Mhm.
heavens for learning and moving forward.
Wow. Wow. So amazing. Uh,
Mm.
because you put yourself through something to actually be able to help other people.
Hmm. Well, it really inspired me because as I learned, I was noticing how similar of experiences people were having around me.
Mhm.
I also realized, for myself, how I was modeling things to my daughter that I was not very excited about modeling. And I definitely wanted to change those.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say something nobody's going to understand except for Jackie Luann.
Okay.
She'll understand it. Okay. Anyway, oh my goodness, Luann, we are so aligned. We're so aligned. Um, so
Yeah.
does anybody have questions for Luann? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have a question for you. Megan has her hand up. I'm going to let her go ahead and ask you, and then I'll ask you a question. Go ahead, Megan.
Thank you, Carol, and thanks very much for sharing that. Definitely something that I think a lot of us and those tuning in can relate to, going through those messy processes, trying to figure ourselves out. So I've got three questions that I'm thinking to try and squish it into one, right?
Okay.
So I'd like to know, and I think people listening in would like to have a better idea of the modalities that you use, that you employ in your space.
Mm.
And then also in my world, one really key part of that solution to finding yourself and undoing the messiness is self-awareness. And it's something that's really big in the space that I teach with my youth as well. And then just I absolutely relate to that place of surrender that you have to get to, where you
Mm.
see you keep going and you keep going and you keep going and until you can't anymore. And the space I'm in at the moment for the last 5 years, I've been trying to, for the first 2 years, you run around the same tree, run into the same wall every 5 minutes, and eventually something shifts and you realize this is actually put there to stop me, to make me think about this and move in a different direction, right? So I've had that experience, and I still joke about it today to say that, surrender was the hardest lesson for me, because I just kept running into that same wall and not getting the message. But when you get it, you recognize the space you need to surrender in very quickly thereafter. So I just like to know your thoughts on that as well. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, correct me if I missed any of the details of your question. So I'll start with the beginning. The modalities that I use, I'm working primarily with the mind shift journey at the moment, which is vertical development, which has a lot of the concepts. It includes concepts actually from Byron Katie, um, Robert Keegan, Lisa Leahy. It's the vertical development space is really helping us see like what's at the root, and because it's really oriented to changing how we see the world. So it's actually really looking at how do we get to the strategies that keep us on this track that's not really working for us.
Right.
And they're pretty deep within, but I see people making life changing with that. Now, it comes from a background of working with psychological kinesiology, hypnotherapy, as well as theta healing. I've gone with it's a heart mode transition. Anyway, I have several of them. I don't
Okay.
actually. Yeah,
Awesome.
so this is where has led me to working with the Mind Shift journey, because it's a combination of several really thought leaders in the transition world.
Yes. Love it.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
interesting.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question for you, and then Jackie has her hand up. So, Luann, um, inside of you going on this journey yourself,
Yes.
because that's where it starts.
Yes.
What I'm finding is everybody that's out there teaching mindset, they went on their own journey.
Yes.
They went on their own journey and they saw things for themselves. And then they were like, oh my gosh, if this can work for me, I've got to share it. I've got to tell other people. And that's where my book came in, is I wanted to write it. And then I was like, this is my course. This is what I want to do.
Yes.
So, Luann, what do you, inside of your journey and what you're doing, and I'm understanding you're working with a group of people, do you do anything outside on a personal level, working with people like coaching or consulting, or do you do anything that you are being able to do kind of one-on-one work with?
Yes, so if I understand you correctly, so correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, I do work with individuals, and I also do work within the structures of other programs as well. So yes, I do work one-on-one, and I find that it's really dependent. Like, people come to me from different scenarios. Sometimes there might be an individual situation that they've worked with for a period of time, and they're just finding that it's really hard to get through it. Or sometimes there's a long-term situation that has kind of come to a point where the stakes are kind of high, and they're just really recognizing that it needs to be something outside of what they've been trying, or another thought process. So if I answered your question correctly, yes, I work with individuals, and I also work with structures and groups.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to see whether you do something outside of the training that you're doing with what's the
Yes,
company?
it's mind shift
Yeah.
journey.
Mind
I
shift.
actually use those modalities in
Okay.
different ways. Like, so it depends on what a person is wanting and what they're wanting to achieve. There's aspects of it that can be used in different portions, or if they're looking for a larger journey, then we use the entire process.
Okay,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Okay, Jackie, you've got your hand up. What would you like to ask?
Thank you.
You are muted.
Okay.
There you go.
It's beautiful to watch, and I'm sure that Carol's just relishing every moment of this, because it's a big reflection of what she's been doing
Mm.
in her own space, and we all, to a certain degree. And yeah, I'm excited about how you got to where you are now. What is your I mean, you've kind of described your modalities, which was going to be my question, um, and the programs. But what is your very favorite group of people, if you can categorize a niche? Because that's where I play, is to be able to
Mm.
find those people for and with you. So, can you say any specific
Mhm.
area?
So the person who I find is really works well with this process is often someone who has been in a situation that they're just recognizing they've run up against a wall for a period of time and it's reaching a point where they can't go forward. So this might be a career situation. It could be sometimes like in early in a person's career, when people are deciding, am I going to go to a role again, or am I going to become an entrepreneur? Or it might be I'm looking for a promotion, or it might be I'm just recognizing like I'm totally stuck in my life, like I'm in a rut. And so it's someone who's really against the wall, but there's a cost to them staying there. And
Yeah.
sometimes it could be a relationship cost, it can be a career cost, it can be a personal cost. It could be I'm just exhausted with revisiting the same scenario over and over. It's kind of like different day, different clothes, same thing, right? And it's just reaches a point where it's like I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to be on the other side.
Mm.
So, and that those people come in different places, but they're usually high achievement oriented. So it's a career situation or a personal situation that they're very passionate about.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's it. I would say it's more a common situation niche than I mean, that situation happens in many stages in life.
yeah. So what do you need at this point?
Mm.
What do I need at this point?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Basically, I'm always looking for other ways to connect to be able to deliver this program. I've often thought, I've often focused on working within organizations because I feel that it's a way of reaching a large group of people at one time, and they have a lot of decision-making capacity, so they can share the benefit forward. It's kind of got a ripple effect. It affects people in many different circles. So that's been typically my focus, as well as like when individuals come to me. So yes, those ideas of how I can connect more with people who would benefit from this is 100% my interest.
So Pramelia is who she needs to know,
Mm.
right,
That was
Carol?
my question. That was my
Yeah,
question. I felt really silly wanting to ask the question, but do you know Camellia?
exactly.
Right.
For
So
she,
yeah.
she's the other side of Canada. We'll allow that to
Oh,
happen. I mean, it's a big continent, but
Yeah.
the
okay. Yes, it is a big continent, that's for sure.
but but anyhow, she has her healing institute, which is compiled of people such as yourself, but I don't know that anyone is as directly on mindset as you are. And she's assisting us in our global reach by going around to clinics in Kenya and other parts to bring the
Oh,
message to
Mhm.
these people that would be very interesting to add you to that flavor.
oh, that would be
So I will put
fabulous.
the information in the
Awesome.
chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one or two people also, a couple of them based in Alberta as well,
Oh,
that I've been speaking to for a few years. So I will connect with you. If you are on LinkedIn, I'll connect with you there and just do an introduction because they all are in the health and wellness related industries. And I think the conversations would be great
oh,
to have, and to see where it goes from there. So I'll do that with
oh,
you.
that's fabulous.
So
Appreciate that.
Luann, I have a question for you. So,
Yes.
have you ever entertained of like delivering a program, a course, where you are working with way more people
Yes.
inside of mindset? Okay,
Yes.
I wanted.
I Yes, I do. I have a program that is prepared, that is available to do that.
Uh-huh.
Because this is a very, there's a framework to this, so it's really easy to deliver to a large group of people,
Uh-huh.
both individually and as a group, because there's advantages to both, actually. So
Okay.
yes, I do have that.
Okay. I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Beautiful. All right. So, anybody else have any questions? Nothing. Okay. Wow. Amazing to, oh, go ahead, Maria. Last, last thing.
I just want to acknowledge you, Luann,
Oh,
for your journey and where it's taken you, and not being stopped along the way. That you just kept going and you
Yeah.
did that deep dive and you went there and it wasn't comfortable. I got that. It was just not comfortable at
oh,
all. And you pushed through, you got there, and look where you are now.
hmm.
Absolutely amazing. So you will be an inspiration to many on this podcast, I'm
Oh,
sure.
well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really recognize, I think sometimes what part of what I like to help people understand is that this journey feels difficult. It feels like success is like way out there, but actually this journey is very manageable. And I guess that leads me to the other thing of the subconscious mind. Like if we can dream it and think about it, we can do it, because the subconscious mind doesn't create anything that we can't create. In other words, our dreams don't go to other people. Our dreams only come to us, which means we definitely can do them if we, and I appreciate getting some help. Like I said, learning to not do it alone was a big one.
Ooh, that's a mindset.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
huge.
Absolutely
That's
a
huge.
mindset. Yes. And we teach collaboration in YEA strongly. So yeah.
Oh, awesome.
We try to bring many, many people together and collaborate and work together. We all collaborate in here with
Oh,
one another. Very
yeah.
strong. So
It's just a real pleasure to meet you, because I really sense the collaboration and the community, and
yeah.
the power and the strength of your work is just really admirable. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, I put my information in the chat. Everybody, make sure you put your information in the chat so we can all connect with one another. And Luann, will you put your just like a short bio in the chat so I can put it into, or I can go out on LinkedIn and pull some things off and put it in your show notes when we put the episode up. Um,
Yes, I can send you a short bio as
yeah,
well.
that would be great.
Yeah, I
That would
can
be
do that
great.
for
Send
you.
that to me and any links that you want people to have to reach out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just my LinkedIn. Pretty
Yeah.
much LinkedIn is the best way to reach me at the moment.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay, that's awesome.
Thank you. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. And please, if you love these episodes, please share them. Please, please share them with people so that they get out everywhere. So young people can hear about mindset through Luann. And so anybody and everybody can have an idea of where they might be stopped or blocked in their lives.
Yes.
Um, and it's worth looking at. And that's what I will say. So please, guys, if you love these episodes, subscribe to our channels, please, and share. And we will see you again on the next episode. And thank you, Luann, for being an amazing guest. And thank you, host, for being an amazing host. And we all deserve to thrive. Let's do it together. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you so much.